Hi, Yizhao Martins, licensed marriage and family therapist, couples therapist. I want to tell you a story today. So I was sitting at a botanical garden in the East Bay, um, by a creek, just having a Zen moment. I saw a little bee flapping its wings and just kind of parked in front of me while it's like sustained in this motion, high vibration. I was fascinated by it. And then a senior lady fell right in front of me. I stayed still for a while because she had a male companion that was following her and was trying to talk to her, calm her down, and help her. When I assessed the situation that he was not able to pull her up by himself, I came to give a boost from behind, and we were able to move her to the side to rest. Falling, as I was joking with this male companion, well, first he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, disturb your Zen moment," and I said, "Well, it's just part of life." He said, "Absolutely." And we both have the understanding that falling is part of life. We fall when we're babies. We fall when we're seniors. I fell at the gym one time when I was working out in Beijing. It's part of the human experience, and it's a shock in our nervous system. So I felt really grateful and touched by this couple, actually, that how he helped her, how he soothed her, and they co-regulated. And in their relationship, I could tell in that moment there's a secure attachment there. So I was very grateful that I was able to witness that. And it also made me think about how do we weather either life storms, whether it's ruptures or a hard time in life when we are falling, either physically or sometimes emotionally falling. Fall for depression or stressful anxiety, panic episode, right? I also was talking to a very successful woman in Beijing when I was visiting. She's in her 60s and she's wealthy, she's successful, and she has her family around her. Yet when I asked her, well, what is your plan, for retirement or for care for you in the future? Because for Chinese culture is very much still the younger generation will take care of the older generation or support them when they're aging. Is part of the filial piety. Well, she has no children, so I inquired. And she told me while she's laughing, kind of jokingly, semi-seriously, she's like, well, there will be robots, AI. They can take care of me. I was like, okay. So this made me think and talk about that today. Do you think AI or robots can replace our partner someday? So I wanted to study my experience with this couple and what I see, and to give you some data and analysis from my perspective, and you can tell me how you think and what you feel. So I noticed there are 4 steps this gentleman did that was very connecting with his female companion. I don't know their relationship. I can make assumption they're married or they're together, but I don't know. But I can tell based on their interaction, the relationship is not superficial. There's some secure attachment there. So first, when the lady fell, he inquired. He asked, are you okay? How are you doing? And I can tell from the way he asked, he was regulated. He was not panicking. He was getting data, but he did not show anxiety. He was also not overbearing. So he allowed her to have a moment to collect herself on the ground. You probably know this. When someone falls, you don't want to, especially for seniors, you don't want to drag them up right away. For children too, actually. Well, for seniors, there might be high blood pressure, or in case anybody fall, if there's any broken bones, you do not want to remove them right away. So you want to give them a moment to calm down. And he kept saying, well, let's calm down. So he used that's together in the system, let's calm down. And he said in a very soothing way. So he inquired, he co-regulated, and then he told her what happened, what he saw. He said, well, I saw you twisted over this rock right here. Do you know how comforting that is? That when you fall, someone actually saw what happened. And they're a witness of your falling. Because when we fall, the moment we lose balance, we have a hunch that we're going to get down. And next thing you know, you're on the floor. Right? There's a moment of almost dissociation there. And it's so helpful when somebody said, I know exactly what happened. I saw it. Yeah, it's very comforting. So he offered that information. And then he tried to pull her up. And then once they sit on the side, resting, he also continued to ask, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, where did it hurt? Right? Trying to inquire and do a quick check and see if everything is fine with her. And just really taking the time, not rushing her, just be with her, be in that place, right? Of regulating continuously. So 4 steps. Inquired, co-regulated, share what happened, and stayed with her in that state. So for me, that's a successful, beautiful, attuned moment and repair of that. It's healing. So generally, when we get trauma, when something happened, then we have no people to go to. But when you have an attached person that provide co-regulation, our brain is not traumatized. We can pass that traumatic event very quickly and recover. So, yay for this gentleman. And if you look at all the 4 steps, you think a robot can do? Can a robot inquire? Yeah, they probably can. You can program them to say, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Let's do a body scan, right? Probably do even better. Like a medical doctor, you can program that medical doctor procedure. Let's check this and this and this. Can you touch this part? And if the robot is advanced enough, they can probably touch and provide those checking as well, like doctors do. So checking they can do. And they can also do some co-regulation, right? Based on this person's attachment history, style, trauma history, medical history, even if you put in all those data in, the AI or robot could probably create a personalized, tailored inquiry for this particular person, that owner of the robot. So they can do that too. Number 3, can they tell you what happened? Definitely. You know, even Tesla has multiple cameras. I'm sure the AI or the robot can have all around cameras to witness and show, record, even go back to what happened. So have a history and description of the event. And the last one, can they stay with this person? Yeah, if that's the owner, they will stay and regulate and decide what to do next. They probably have even more tax and the intervention. What's the aftercare gonna be like? So I think based on what the 4 steps we saw, with enough training and data, a robot probably will do a very good job in being a fall prevention caregiver, right? But what's the difference then? Do you think the AI or robot can replace a companion or a partner for us when we're aging? I wanted to compare this lady's response to me versus to her companion, male companion, right? Because I'm a total stranger. So when she fell, I asked immediately while I was seated, I said, oh, are you okay? Her companion also asked, are you okay? And she just said, yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. It hurts, but I'm okay, right? And then I said, you know, I was fidgeting and seeing what's in my bag. I said, you know what? I have some Band-Aids if you need them, right? I don't know what's her situation like, but I'm offering some support here. Then she said, oh, thank you. I don't see any scratches, but you're sweet, right? So she was complimenting me. And then when her partner is trying to pull her up, which a very awkward position, holding her hand and trying to pull her up from the front, I saw, this gentleman might break his back, you know, and also it's not very effective. So I went behind the lady and pulled her up from behind. And she said, oh, I'm heavy. I'm really heavy. So she was a little bit embarrassed by her weight and by her condition where that she needed 2 people to bring her up, right? So she was also saying something to a stranger to me as a way of saying thank you, right? So while they're sitting on the side, and when her partner or her companion's asking her more questions, checking in, she sounded a little bit annoying and snappy. She said, I told you I'm okay. I told you I'm okay. And so that was really interesting to me. I was like, oh, so she is way more comfortable being with this gentleman and can release her real feeling and be a little bit annoyed, while she's really polite to me, even though she must be in pain, right? And embarrassed. So she still have her social engagement in there to make me feel comfortable, make her presentable and likable, while she feels comfortable enough to show her annoyance and her aggression and who she is as a person to her male companion. So we actually only do that to someone who we are securely attached, that we are not afraid our little temper, our annoyance, our snappiness will drive them away while we're in pain, right? So that really shows me this humanness, that, oh, I can be who I am. You know who I am. I got certain temper. I can be relaxed in front of you. How lovely. How lovely. So I wonder if we can create that in a robot that can mimic or copy that human connection, that humanness, that we're not perfect, that so making the owner of the robot feeling I can be totally relaxed, be vulnerable in front of you because you're like me, you're not perfect, right? So that's number one, my question. Number two is, part of being in a long-term relationship is reciprocal, where we want it to be, right? I don't think anybody wanted to be in a relationship just to be the caregiver unless you're getting paid. Right? You must get something out of it, the emotional benefits from it. And the same for the other person. There is some back and forth. You take care of me this way, I take care of you that way. We get something out of the relationship dynamic, right? If one person is the pure caregiver, it's never flawed, it's perfect, that's a certain kind of relationship. That's generally more like employer-employee relationship, getting there. We don't only have the needs and desire to be taken care of. We also like to take care of other people, especially people we care for. So we feel good about ourselves too, right? With a robot, probably besides charging and do some maintenance, there's no this reciprocal mutual supporting each other, give and take relationship. So for me, that's not as satisfying as a human relationship where there's a back and forth and their shortcomings. You see when they're grumpy, when they're snoring, they're drooling when they're sleeping, and you see the little child part of them coming out when they see something they really like to eat, right? That creates intimacy. And I don't know if that can be replaced by a robot. What are your thoughts and how do you feel about that? I would love to hear from you. So until next week, my friends, bye.